Diggity damn, it's another episode of World 1-1 podcast. Before we dig into their meat and their taters, or in Eddie's case, because he's not here, the meat and two veg, you can and should follow us at our home at world11.podbean.com, all spelled out, all one word. Audio versions of the show can be found there, as well as Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And video versions of the show are usually happening on Twitch. There's still shenaniganery going on with that. I can't believe I actually managed that word without tripping over it. That's fantastic. I'm very pleased with myself now. Anyways, as well as up on our YouTube channel, both of which have actually been busy-ish lately. But we'll get into some of that later. But without further ado, as always,
choose your fighter!
I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this evening, off camera but on mic, is Kathy.
Hello.
And Josh the Little Goo.
Hello.
So, straight to the point this week. Let's dig into...
Oh my gosh!
Video games.
Kathy, what have you been playing? Fortnite called it.
Well, actually...
no, you probably haven't, have you?
I have not. I did get down to the computer one day, so I don't remember last time I was on, but last Thursday I somehow twisted both my ankles and just have not been able to get to my computer to play, and which has been really horrible. So I haven't really been playing many video games because I've been cooped up in bed. Yes, I could have had the Switch, but it just was too hard to go and get, and nobody was able to go get it for me. So, but I did play a few things, especially as my ankles have gotten better. So yes, I did play Fortnite. Got a chance to see the Gotham area and the Batman stuff that came out. I don't know why. Oh, and I found out more about It. So apparently Epic is not able to do the Pennywise It thing. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
But they took out all the balloons, the red balloons that were in all the sewer grates. So
I wonder if there was a license deal that fell through.
Which kind of sucks. But I still am hopeful. Maybe with the Halloween season we'll see something. But
sure.
Yeah, it sounds like that has gone bye-bye. Other than that, nothing else. Mostly been mobile. I did get the copy of Mario Kart Tour, which came out on Android and iOS.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I played some of that today.
Not sure how I feel about that.
I'm hearing mixed things as well. I haven't tried it.
What's neat is it's neat to see the courses, because they do have the different courses from the different different Mario Kart versions. But it's just basically slide your finger around to turn. There isn't really much else to do. You automatically go over jumps. You get the speed boosts pretty much automatically for that. And it's just a matter of, as long as you don't hit anything, you can pretty much win. So, I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure about it yet. I still like Dr. Mario better. But, yeah, I have it. I'll play it for a little bit, and then I'll probably just sit there like Super Mario World or whatever the...
Mario Run, yeah.
Mario Run, so yes, thank you.
I got a question for you on this, Kathy, because
like
I said, I played some of that today myself. How did you set your controls? Did you go with the drift control, or did you just do the regular steering?
I started with the regular steering. I always start regular steering just to get a feel of the controls, and then I plan to go to drift. The one thing I do like is even with the standard steering, you can get the drift boost. But, yeah, I need to change it up. Maybe it would make it better?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to try it with the standard, because I just jumped straight to the drift steering.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it with the standard, because the drift steering feels fucking weird. Like a little unwieldy, almost.
I think that's my problem with the game, and that using that term made me think. Because you're supposed to slide your finger side to side to turn, but it's very hard to really want to do that. You kind of want to... I find my finger drifting, into different, like, I'm trying to point to the direction I want them to go instead of sliding just back and forth, side to side.
Okay.
And so I do have a hard time with the controls and getting good turns and that. I also find that the item usage can be a little tricky. I'll try to throw items behind me, and I'll end up tapping, and it throws it in front of me. So to throw in front, you tap. To throw behind, you have to slide your finger down. And
I didn't have an issue with that one.
I don't know if it's just my touchscreen now. I do have an older phone, and I have noticed some other games I'm having issues with the touchscreen. So just maybe my touchscreen
Yeah.
is going bad since it is an older phone. But that's one thing that bothers me a little bit. And those damn blue shells. Why did they put the damn blue shells in there? But really, other than that, just been playing some puzzle games on my phone. I picked up a new one called Dragon Merge, and it's just basically you match up numbers and try to build up to 20, and then it clears stuff out. So nothing big.
Did you play any more Slices?
Slices.
You remember
No.
Slices? We talked about
I got
Slices.
rid. Yes. No. I was trying to remember. No, I got rid of that game a long time ago. I stopped
Did you?
playing it. I get into kicks where I'll play a game and I'll play it consistently for about a month, and then I just never play it again. So then it gets deleted. So it's in my someday to go back to file.
What about
And-
Dots?
and-
Did you do Dots at all?
Yeah,
I
I
love
didn't care for that
Dots.
one.
I love Dots. I still play Dots.
No,
I've been
I
playing
play-
Dots for years.
The only one I like Sudokus. I also like fill-in type puzzles where you got to get those blind, kind of like Tetris type. There's one called
Yeah.
1010. I love that one. That one I do play that one a lot. And then I've got Flow, which is where you have to connect the colored, or Flow Free, where you have to connect the.
I was gonna
colored
say
dots.
Flow was a PlayStation game. or
Yeah, no,
PS
Flow Free,
game.
where you have to connect colored dots and stuff. So that one I like to see how fast I can get through the whole board. Feel like a time trial, because I'm pretty quick with those. But yeah, so not much this week. Hopefully this weekend I can make my way back down to the computer, because we did pick up. So we do have Fortnite. I did pick up Realms Royale, which is another battle royale, which again I think I talked a little bit. I still haven't gotten into that. We did pick up the Batman collection that Epic had for free. So
Yeah, that was a lot of fucking Batman games.
my husband's
Right.
into the Arkham series, and we do have it for our Xbox, but this way we now have it on the PC, so he can have his thing. And I like the Lego game. I've always liked the Lego games. I'm not going to, I didn't care to get the Batman ones, but since they're for free, I figured.
Right.
Again, I'm not downloading all this stuff onto my computer, but I figured at least let's have it in my library. So if I ever decide I'm looking for a game to play, I have a whole bunch of free games. I mean, when you think about that Arkham series, I mean, they're gonna sell it for $60, and
Yep.
I just got those 3 games for free plus 3 additional ones. So when you think about, it's like Epic, what the hell are you doing? So, but what else did I pick up? Oh, I didn't want it, but my daughter wanted it. So we got Shovel Knight Treasure Trove for the PC. She really wanted to play on the PC, and so we did pick that up today. So I hope to play that, because now I don't have to drag my Wii U and plug it into my capture card. We can just play it on the PC, and I can stream that. So I'm looking forward to going back to Shovel Knight. I loved Shovel Knight when it first came out. It was really a good game. I'm
Have
excited
you
to
done
play
any of the
other ones.
DLC?
It came with all the DLC. I've only played
Have
Plague
you played
Knight.
it? Okay.
I've only played Plague Knight, because that was the only DLC we got for the Wii U. And then, I didn't pick up any of the other stuff. So that's another reason why I want to get back into it, because, yeah, it looks like fun. So, but that's it.
So I'll give you a heads up here. Plague Knight is not the greatest DLC. It's
I
neat.
know it isn't. I got sick of it. I have played it. I started the campaign. We did have Plague Knight, and in fact, my daughter and I were talking about this, and she even says Plague Knight is the worst. She said I played that one first just to get it out of the way.
Mhm. Now, Spectre Knight, on the other hand, is fucking incredible.
Yes, I've heard that.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, so that's why I'm glad we got this. Now I can play it. Thank you, my daughter. I love you so much. Thank you. Kisses to you for getting it, because I know I'll be playing it as well.
Yeah,
And we bought it off of Steam. Woo.
Ooh, throwing down already.
Starting early, huh?
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah. So lots of games. Again, lots of games I gotta get into, but nothing's really been catching my eye. Idea? What the hell? I need sleep.
Yeah.
But that's it.
If you want to get any sleep, you're going to need to fill out an ID10T form first.
I didn't get any sleep last night, and then I had to work today, which, again, I'm not used to working, so...
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I'm about in the same boat. I'm going to be running open and close for like the next 2 weeks straight.
Oh, you poor thing. At least I'm only working like 4 hours, which is good for me, having not worked.
Right.
Sure.
But, and then having sprained my ankles and trying to stand.
Yeah.
So, oh, poor Larry, though. 2 weeks of open and close. Dang it.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks straight of 11.5-hour days of pop.
Hope you survive. I'm not
Oh,
complaining. I'm not going to complain about mine. I'm just getting used to it. Sorry.
I know. It's legit. It's a legit acclimation period. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, but then I hear, I gotta work open and close for the next 2 weeks. And I'm just like,
Yeah, but
I
come
feel
on.
like crap.
Most of the time, Larry's just sitting around playing Switch or messing around with
I can't sit. I can't sit. I gotta stand. And I'll tell you, it wreaks havoc on your ankles and back when.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
But... and I'm so mad. I haven't played it yet, but I'm so wanting to get it. Link's Awakening, the new one for the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I'm
gonna wait till it comes down.
I am so freaking mad I didn't get the game because I'm watching gameplay footage and I know there was always these questions about the art style and everything being too cute, but the people I've seen play it, it just looks like a lot of fun. And it looks like a good remake of it. So, hopefully I'll have that in a few weeks.
Right on. And Josh, what have you been spending lately?
Not much. Just playing pretty much Gears 5. And I'm not even playing like multiplayer yet, which is like incredible for me. I'm trying to get through the story. I'm on Act 3. So I do have a legit gripe about that. First of all, I love the story. It's really good Gears. It's kind of open worldish now. It's not really open worldish, but they still made it feel like Gears, but they're giving you more choice with side missions.
I was going to say those two concepts do not mesh in my head.
I know. They still is Gears with the big set pieces and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like for example, in the second act, it kind of opens up a little bit and allows you to do things in a different order, or there's like side missions you can do, or you don't have to. But there's good rewards for doing the side missions. So because you have a drone now that you can upgrade and get better off. And if you're playing with 4 people, one person can actually play as the drone. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. The legit gripe I have is, once you hit from Act 2 to Act 3, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but it's basically the same gameplay, just carbon copied over.
Wasn't that most of Gears?
Yeah, but this is like really the same. Okay, so you start off just like in a frozen tundra with a sled that you drive around with, and then in the third act, you're in the desert with the same sled, doing the same exact things, just and Gears was always kind of samey like that, but at least the story kept moving.
Right.
This one was I love the story. I love where they're going with it. The boss battle so far, there's been like one major boss battle was really difficult because I'm not used to that anymore. No one is. And I went online after I beat that boss, and you should have heard the people complaining. And I just told, I even said to one guy, I said, I laugh at this because this is how lazy we become as gamers, that we should expect these AAA games just to be easy.
Right.
And we just play 6 to 8 hours on a campaign and then we're done.
Yeah.
So far I have about 12 hours in the campaign, and I'm a little over halfway through. So I'm always a slow gamer when it comes to the campaigns anyway. So I like to take my time on them and just kind of pace myself. I mean, with like Red Dead, I was on that for well over 110 hours. And Breath of the Wild, I think I had like over 200 in there by the time I was done with it.
So do I.
Yeah.
I think that was about standard for Breath of the Wild, though, is you saw a lot of people talking about, clocking their 200.
Well, yeah, Breath of the Wild was like one thing where I would see something in the distance and I would be like, I'm going to go to that. And then I would just get sidetracked, and 12 hours later, I'm like, oh, I didn't even get to that thing. I don't even know where that thing is anymore.
Right. Like, the fuck was I on about?
Yeah, exactly. So, but Gears obviously isn't like that, but I really do like the campaign. I recommend, if you have Game Pass, pick it up, because first of all, it's free on Game Pass, so you might as well. And it's definitely worth... Game Pass now is becoming something with the Xbox that when it first came out, I thought, why the hell would I get that? And now I've had it for like 6 months, and I'm like, why wouldn't I have it?
Game Pass is turning into this thing that's kind of making me like question things here, because it's like trying to figure out exactly what Microsoft's shtick here is.
Well, they want you in the ecosystem. They want a service, just like Netflix,
Right, and that's all well and good, but I'm sitting here looking at it going, but then why are you selling these games?
Well, because right now they don't have... You mean, like, why are they selling them? Because for the people that don't have Game Pass.
Yeah, but at that point, it's like...
It's going to get to a point... It's going to get to a tipping point, I think. Especially with, like, even with, and we'll talk about this later a little bit, I think, because that's what we had planned, but the kind of, like, digital divide with the physical, it's going to get to this point where it's going to tip, and it's not going to be worth it for them to even sell it, like you said, like even sell it digitally. Otherwise, you just have to
which is why I'm trying to figure out why they're even selling it,
because they're not even telling you sales numbers anymore. They're just telling you how many players are playing it, because so many people have played it on Game Pass, they haven't actually technically bought it.
Yep.
And I did notice with this title too, when you start it up, and if it's on Game Pass, it actually has a little watermark on the bottom lower right that says Game Pass. And but that's only in the title screen, and then it's gone.
Huh.
So it's kind of it's interesting that way. That they're branding it that way.
No kidding.
I like the concept of paying $10 to $12. Now, if you want to get, I have Ultimate, which is technically $12 or $13 a month or something like that. But that wraps in my Xbox Live too.
Right.
So now I don't have to worry about that subscription either.
Yeah, at that point, it's a couple dollars a month difference. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. So in reality, you're actually paying it's a really good price for what you're getting. You're getting over 100 games. You're getting all the first party stuff. Day in. Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
I'm not debating that. I'm just saying it kind of feels like they're cannibalizing themselves here a little.
Yeah, but I mean, they do the same thing with the PC market on like Office and their other PC stuff. They sell services now, and they just get that subscription. And I can see them doing it, and they're making a lot of money at it. Hey, something different we're not used to in the console game anyway.
I think Office is a little different though. But I think this is something we should definitely we'll circle back on in the third half.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's where that's going. But mental note to table the whole Microsoft Office thing. So, but anything outside of Gears? When do we have more command prompt happening again?
Oh, I know. It is going to happen. I have to reset back up the computer because I had moved everything around in my office. I'm getting some new shelves, so I haven't got those yet, and I want to get those up, and then I want to get that back. If it's not going to happen this week, I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, that's all right. I was just kind of curious.
No, I'm curious too because I don't remember what I was doing, and I do have an episode. I do have an episode of it that I haven't even posted to YouTube yet. So I'm gonna do that, and then maybe I'll get back into it like in a week after that. So
right,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot for my birthday weekend, which is the
Ooh,
weekend after next. So, because
happy birthday.
yeah, it's not quite there yet, but I don't know. This year's gone by so fast, so it's kind of weird. But
I know.
can't believe we're getting all these good games, and I have no time to play.
Right.
So,
Oh, hell. Suppose that makes it my turn, doesn't it?
yep. What you playing?
Oh, well, this very second, I just put down my controller in the middle of a robot named Fight Run.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've piddled with that off and on a little bit over the last week, actually. Nothing terribly in depth, but it's been back in rotation for me. I have this lingering urge to go back to Dead Cells, but part of me is like, you've played so much Dead Cells, but the other part's like, yeah, but it's fun, asshole, do it again.
Right.
Other than that, lots and lots and lots and lots of Blasphemous this past week. I'm wrapping up. I'm towards the end game. I know I am. I actually piddled around with it on stream a couple nights ago.
Mhm.
I didn't really have any intentions or plans on streaming Blasphemous. Even after I finish it, I don't think it's going to be one that's going to get a Let's Play for me. But I was late game. I'm late game enough that I've got most of the map open, and so I thought, I'm at this point I'm really just doing side quests and cleanup. So I figured I'd stream it for a couple hours, because at this point I knew in that couple hour stretch I was going to be all over the fucking map, and so it was kind of a way to just go, here's a tour of Svistoria, which is about a vowel short of pronounceable. It's spelled CVSTO. I'm like
What language is that? Yeah.
Yeah, no. But anyways, it fits with everything else, truthfully. But anyways, so I piddled around with that for a little bit, and the stream actually ended with me accidentally falling into a surprise boss fight that I didn't know was there and wasn't expecting, and just getting my ass kicked because it was getting late when I was getting sloppy.
Sure.
But so yeah, there's been lots of Blasphemous. Part of me is ready for it to be over. Part of me is like, oh, that's it. It's this weird conflicting feeling. Like I simultaneously have thoughts of, this is a slog, and at the same time going, yeah, but I love this slog. Do it some more.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I'm having like weird torn feelings on it. It's not stopping me from loving it by any stretch of the imagination. It's fantastic. I do think part of it too for me is that at this point, I'm running into some stuff where certain NPC quests that are necessary to progress and finish up are not obvious at all. I mean, like, and I don't mean they're not just not obvious. Like, they are obnoxiously obscure, and like you have no idea that you're even involved in a fucking quest line for some. It's like, fuck, give me a clue what I'm after here, something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just kind of left hanging in the lurch a little bit. There's not a ton of that, but there is enough that it is a valid complaint. So again, to that end, honestly, I did a little bit of digging, and I basically found a phenomenal full game world map that also kind of highlights a bunch of shit. It's a little weird to follow, but once you figure it out, it kind of goes like, start quest line at this point, look for these things here, here, and here. When you have them, take end of quest line to that spot on the other side of the map to get this thing, to take it here, to get it bounces all over the place, but at least kind of gives you some fucking clues without totally just spelling out everything. So he did whoever did this map did a really nice job of it, honestly. And they put some fantastic like illustration work into it. It was just really primo stuff. I would still, in a heartbeat, buy a fantastic like special edition, collector's edition of it, hard copy, without hesitation.
Sure, which is probably coming eventually. I
fucking hope so, because there's so much phenomenal lore in this. Like, this is a game that deserves the first for figures like $700 statue treatment kind of thing too. Like, oh my god, I want like a 2-foot statue of the Penitent One. That'd be awesome. Like, half the height of that statue is just going to be his fucking helmet.
Nice.
It would have to be. And the Mea Culpa sword, fantastic. So, I've gotten some gorgeous screenshots and video clips off of there too. I've really liked. Outside of that, though, I played through the Ori and the Blind Forest demo last night because I couldn't get Liv to go to sleep. And so I figured,
how is that?
So here's a weird thing for you. Ori actually animates better on Switch than it did on Xbox One.
Is that just because you think they've had so much time to optimize it?
It is. It's exactly it. I was reading an article about it. And basically what it was, or what they were saying, is that on Switch, because there's been so many patches and optimizations and overhauls between, you know, the original and working on Will of the Wisps, which is coming up in a couple of months now too, finally. Oh my god, I can't wait. It's so close, I can taste it. I want to rub my nuts on it. Anyways, but yeah, so originally on Xbox One, Ori animated at 30 frames per second.
30 frames,
on the Switch, it's now at 60.
Is it at 60?
It is.
Nice.
So,
and that just makes it buttery smooth, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It looks great. It plays great. I'm all about it. I played through the entire demo.
What did they give you? What did they give you for the demo?
So the demo's fairly meaty. Basically, the demo will take you all the way to the first time you talk to the spirit tree.
That's not bad.
No, it's size. You'll probably get a solid 25-30 minutes out of it.
Yeah, that's good enough to know if you like it or not.
Oh yeah, more than respectable. So, but I played it, and oh my god, all I could think was, did you ever watch The Evening with Kevin Smith Q&A thing?
I don't think I've watched that one, no.
Okay, so Kevin Smith did this thing years and years ago called An Evening with Kevin Smith. And it was literally just him doing a Q&A talk at like a college campus or some shit somewhere. And there was also a follow-up one. It was called, what was it? An Evening with Kevin Smith 2 Evening Harder. But in any case, so one of the things he talked about was that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, at the time, you know, kids were real little, and most everything he had ever done was wholly, grossly inappropriate for children. Right. So, however, there's that scene where they go fucking sliding into the sewer and Bob gets stuck. Right?
Right.
Yeah. That scene is directly inspired specifically by Winnie the Pooh. It was an homage to Winnie the Pooh getting stuck in the honey pot.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuck in the tree trying to get the honey. And he talked about, he's like, I had this moment of joy when it was playing in my house and the volume was off because you can't let them hear it. But that scene happened and my kids saw it and went, Winnie the Pooh!
Nice.
And I kind of had the same thing with Liv last night playing Ori, because it literally takes you through the whole prologue, which you've played this, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
That whole, you know, more soul-crushing, heart-wrenching than the beginning of Up, kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, dude.
I got a tear in that. I got a tear in that.
Oh,
one.
you got to get a whole fucking like box of Kleenex for that shit.
Yeah. I'm not made of stone. You know.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I'm playing it, and I'm working with Liv on and trying to get her to sit down and actually get her to let me read her a book is a challenge. But there are some days she will, some she. But here lately, she's been wanting to watch me play games, so took the opportunity. Figure Ori's bright, colorful, and it's
cartoony a little bit.
Right.
But...
Well, there's no spoken dialogue to speak of, but there is some text dialogue going on throughout Ori, and so I'm reading it to her as it comes up. It's it's bedtime. I don't want her focused on. I want her more just kind of zonking out, but she's coherent enough to kind of be watching it and be interested.
Yeah.
And so she's watching me play this opening section as I'm reading the words that come across the screen as the spirit tree's talking throughout it. And I look down, dude, and my kid is all choked up at the scene where Nehru dies.
Yeah.
Like, she totally legit understands what's going on, even though she doesn't know completely, but she knows, like, she's like, oh, and I taught her, I'm like, she knows the little white bunny rabbit thing. I said, that's Ori. She goes, Ori! And so, and so she knows that, Ori's friend is gone, and Ori was all alone, and then Ori fell down and didn't get back up, and she's, like, crying, dude. I'm like, oh, damn! Like, I legit didn't think this was gonna quite take like that, but okay. So, but, and then all the flowers light up, and the tree gets bright and everything, and Ori comes back, and, Liv, lights up, and she's like, Ori! So.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, well, if they wouldn't get you to actually, like, fall in love with the characters right away, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's like, they're like best friends, you're seeing how they're like helping each other, and yeah. And then it's like, okay, pull the bandage off here. Here's what happens.
Well, not only that, too, but I mean, some of the wording from the Great Tree as well. It's like legit specifically, Nehru was very much the motherly figure here.
Right.
And, and they emphasize that when the Great Tree is like an orphan once again. Like,
yeah.
Damn. Fuck. Right in the field. Eat a dick. Ah. But anyways. So, there was that. I did finish up SteamWorld Dig 2 a bit ago, and then I went back and kind of piddled around with some cleanup just for shits and giggles. Not that I needed to, but I kind of wanted to. Got a little further with the Messenger on stream. Got through another stage or two. It's still so funny. Oh my god, it's so good.
Where are you in that game?
What did I finish? I finished the giant golem boss, and then the one after that. What the hell was the one?
Hey, you're farther than I am.
Oh, yeah, the stupid turns you into a mushroom bitch. Fuck her. Yeah. Anyways, so I now have the rope dart, which they specifically make fun of, saying, yeah, everyone's just going to call it a grappling hook.
Oh, okay.
Because that's essentially what it is.
It's
a
what
grappling
it is.
hook. Right, and they know that that's exactly what everyone's going to call it, and so they tell you, look, it's a rope dart. Everyone's going to call it a grappling hook.
Okay.
They get this joke, and they're in on this joke at this point. So hardcore. It's fantastic. So, what else did I fiddle around with? What do I think? I feel like I dicked around with Hollow Knight again on stream for about an hour or so, and yeah, kind of forgot where I was at and what the fuck I was doing.
Oh, so now you're like, okay, where? I don't know what I'm.
Yeah, it took me about 20, 30 minutes to figure out what the fuck I was even doing in the first place, and I'm still not 100% sure, but I've got a better clue now. I think the next thing I need to do is get the map for the City of Tears.
Okay.
So I've got, like, map shit surrounding the city.
Right.
Like, I've got Deep Nest and all the northern shit, and I've got City's Edge, and I got the tramways going underneath, and there's just a big gaping hole in the middle of my map.
Yep. Okay. So that's where you gotta go then.
Uh-huh. Like, I know where Cornifer is there, too, and I'm trying to remember the route to fucking get to him in there. It's a huge pain in the butt. But, I'll get there. So, I think... Oh, yeah, that and Mario Kart, but I mean, we talked about that. It's fucking weird. I kept playing it, and Kathy, feel free to chime in here. I'm curious of your thought on this, because I had a thought as I was playing it, and I'm wondering if maybe you had the same thought too. Is I kept playing it thinking, one, why the fuck is this not in landscape mode? Like,
you can't turn it?
No,
Because they want you to play with one hand. They want you to play with one hand.
Two, it should be in landscape mode, and additionally, and I can't believe I even have to fucking say this, how the fuck is there not motion steering on this?
I know, that was the other thing I was thinking. It would be so cool if it was in the land.
Right!
Because they don't want you playing when you're driving.
And I think that's kind of what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, because everything else is.
But, I think they're trying to stay consistent with the other Nintendo games. That's what I'm thinking, because all their other Nintendo games are portrait. And it's like they're trying to keep everything. So, but yeah, they could have done such a better job with the game. Oh well.
Disappointment.
There's always time.
We'll see. So, I haven't hit the end of the free section yet, but I'm sure I'm creeping up on it. I only played like one cup. I'll probably play more of it tomorrow at work.
What is it? The 200cc is all locked behind?
I don't know. I was literally just playing on 50 just to fuck around with it.
So, what I've done is, as you get through cups, or as you go through the different races, you start unlock, and as you level up, you start unlocking different ones. I'm up to the 150cc, and I think I've gone through 3 or 4 tours. Mm-hmm. So, it's yeah.
But yeah, that's I think that's most of everything I've been playing this week. I don't think I missed anything. I'm sure I did, but I can't figure out what, if anything. Josh, I threw a link to that map I was telling you about in the chat. You can take a peek. Because like I said, just he took like blown up versions of the sprite artwork and put it in appropriate places, and it's all real pretty. Right? It's definitely a very horizontally oriented map.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's very lengthwise. It's got plenty of interconnectivity to it. I do wish it had a little bit more, but again, for the price, I'm not mad.
Right.
It's still pretty substantial, and I mean,
it's a meaty game. Yeah.
Oh, it is, and the other part of it too is honestly, I don't think I'm upset that it's not bigger. Just for the simple fact that the traversal is much of a... I know it sounds derogatory. It's not meant to. It is a bit of a slog, only because, one, nothing in this game ever gets much easier. Even as you get end game, you can still find yourself getting your ass kicked near the beginning of the game. Map-wise, as you're going back around, you still kind of have to be on your fucking toes. And to the just the routing and the literal like walk speed makes it feel a bit like a slog, and so I don't think I would want this to be any bigger. I wouldn't mind, I think, if maybe it was a little more squared off.
A little more vertical, maybe.
Yeah, add a little more verticality to it. You can see some like focus vertical points.
Yeah. Yep.
But even then, they exist, but there's really not much in them. Like, they are literal elevator shafts. Most of those, like,
Right.
big vertical. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
but yeah, that's I think that's what I've been playing.
Cool.
Yeah. So legit, plenty of games. Stuff's been happening. I've been doing some stuff, even though I've been busy as shit. So I'm still, making time, doing stuff.
That's great.
But anyways, with that said, I think we're gonna take a breather here and brace ourselves for the third half of the show, where we're gonna deep dive off of something that was in the news this week, that we pulled off the news desk, but we wanted to go a little further into. It's something that it's been talked about here a couple times over the last 3.5 years that we've existed, but I don't think we've ever gone real deep on this specific part of it. I know I've kind of glanced over it with some grazing thoughts, but tonight we're really gonna dig our heels in here and see where this takes us. So with that said, now's a perfectly good time for us to all take a quick break. And we're back with the third half of the show. This week we're going to take a deep dive into a special news topic this week. As we kind of briefly glanced on in the first half of the show, article came up, or a little piece of news came up this week, that is it France?
French. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Consumer rights group.
Was it consumer? I swear it went to court. It was like
It was a
France court or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
It went to like their version. I don't know if it was like really their version of Supreme Court, but
I was kind of thinking that's how it read.
yeah, I was reading a little. Yeah, the High Court.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
SMRT Smart.
SMRT. I mean, SMART. I like that episode. Anyhow.
So, anyways, so the French High Court magistrate, whatever the hell they have, basically decided that Steam is not in compliance with the law because they sell you games, and that's the thing. They sell you games, you buy them, but you have no rights to them to resell them.
Yeah, basically because they're selling you a code that is tied to your account, and you can't untie it. And technically, you should be able to do that. You should be able to click a button and just get the code back, right? Because every code's unique.
But doesn't Steam have a...
Well, it's not even that so much. It's not even the code so much as it is you're buying the license rights.
Yeah, see, in the United States,
on
it's a little
Steam.
different. Yeah, in the U.S., it's like you don't really buy the game.
No.
You're buying the right to play the game.
Right. Correct.
So that's what it is. I mean,
You're paying full price for it. You're not renting it.
No.
So, but it almost gets treated like a rental because you don't own it to the point where you can do anything with it after that.
Can't
it
sell.
literally
Yeah.
Right. It literally forces you to be the end user. There can be no other end user after you.
Yeah,
And-
there can only be one.
Yeah, that's right. Gabe Newell is the Highlander.
Please
And
don't give them that.
Hey,
no,
hey,
no,
it's
no,
a great
please.
It's a great business model if you think about it. I mean, if you sell something, you have to sell. You can sell it only once,
Yeah.
and there's no way for you. In the United States, I know they talked about kind of like this in the U.S. I think Microsoft was kind of going towards this at the start of 2013 when they were talking about a code being tied to your account, and then you could resell that code back to them.
Yeah.
But then everybody threw their arms up and wanted physical media, and that's fine.
Now, I do think, though, that they were on the right track with that. It just shouldn't have been the only track. And I've got a few thoughts in terms of, what can be done here. But let's get into it. Kathy, you're the big digital one that's on tonight.
Yeah.
I don't say, I just, more than Josh and I, this is more your domain. So I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this. What would be your pitch, your solution here?
Well, the funny thing is...
Or do you even take issue with it?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I've never even thought about it till I saw this article. For me, the digital copy, I never thought about ever selling it back because I get to keep the game really forever. And even if I don't want it, I can just take it off my computer and it's still in my library. So say down the road, I want to play it again, I can just re-download it at no cost. Whereas when we sold a lot of our physical games, like for the GameCube and stuff, and even our GameCube, when we wanted to play those games again, we had to go buy another GameCube. Yes, we got a used one cheaper, but we had to buy another GameCube. We had to re-buy the game, so we ended up spending more money on rebuying it. So I never really ever saw an issue with me not being able to sell back my digital copies. I look at it as I have this game forever, regardless of what I do with it. I can take it off. I can, if I'm not happy with it, okay. I know Steam has a return policy. If I don't like the game, I can return it. Whereas like Epic doesn't have that return policy yet.
I think they do, actually, Kathy.
Did they start that again? I haven't paid attention because, again, I'm the type of person, with Epic, I'm just collecting their free games. I haven't spent the money. So I'm not too worried about these free games that I'm getting. And any games that I've purchased, I've not been happy with. And if we're not playing them, we just take them off. So for me, the digital is different than the physical. And I just, like I said, it's never occurred to me that I'm losing any money because I'm not really losing that money. When with physical games, I've lost money or I've put more money into those physical games down the road. And these digital games don't take up space. I get a new computer, I just have to re-download the games. They're all, my account is stored. So it's kind of like a fail-safe for me. So I don't get it. And I don't know why you'd want to sell back a digital copy, because it's not like it's going to go to anybody else. I mean, what, is somebody else going to get that code? Not necessarily.
What they're saying. What I think what they're saying is like, okay, like you could click a button on Steam. Let's say you didn't want this game anymore. You could click a button on Steam, you get the code back, and you could sell the code. Or you could sell it back to Steam for X amount of dollars.
But again, I don't see the reason if I bought it. It's just me. Maybe it's just me, and
it's
I'm
like
not very
trading
smart.
in at GameStop.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got some rationale for you here, Kathy, and this kind of leads to my... It never bothered me, and I never thought about it, because for me, I don't see I'm losing money in the deal. But, others, after reading that article, I could see where some people maybe feel that they're getting the short end of the stick. So I'll pass it on to you guys. So I'm going to toss over to Josh first, and then we'll see what hasn't been touched out of my thoughts.
Okay. So my thoughts on this are more of a logistical things, and from the way that games are sold and the way people get paid for making games. So if you were to buy a game, let's say you buy a game for let's just use like a number like $50. Mm-hmm. And in, let's say, 2 weeks, you could sell it back, or you can sell it for $20. Do you sell it back to the publisher, or do you get the code and be able to sell it on your own somewhere? I mean, that's where I'm like in this gray area. Like, I don't know what they really want, you know, because if they want to like to get the code themselves, and like for example, like I could get a code and then give it to Larry, and Larry could play it, and then he could get the code back and then go give it to someone else. Would that devalue the game even more so that these people aren't getting paid for it? And then we're going to see game prices skyrocket.
Well, my question is, would it be a set price, or could you
Well, that's what I'm saying.
jump
Like,
it up? I mean,
that's-
yeah, they say
that's-
you're going to sell for 20, and you are like, and you're given that code, and then
But
you
that's-
bump it up to like $60.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, it's happening. Like on G2A, you can go and buy like Steam codes really cheap, and like even indie developers are already complaining, even with that kind of thing, is like that their profits are getting eaten into.
Yeah.
You know, so
Now, to be fair, G2A is a fucking hot mess of piracy and stolen bullshit, though.
yeah, exactly.
True.
But
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, what would stop these marketplaces from popping up, or even on eBay, they're just selling these digital codes?
Right.
I know. I have the answer to this one.
Oh,
Okay.
geez, here we go.
Nope. Follow me on this.
I'm
Check this.
I'm scared to
feeling
follow
quite-
you.
Nope, I'm feeling quite proud of this idea, actually.
All right.
So, Steam's already created kind of the all-encompassed environment for
Yeah.
PC games, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I really don't see an issue with essentially building in a double marketplace.
Okay.
So, one, the GameStop model. Yeah, I cringe a little at that, but still. Anyways.
Trade it in.
Now,
Mhm.
bearing in mind, games purchased from Steam, Steam codes cashed in, you've downloaded the game, and the license that lets you operate the game. Now, from there, because again, you've got to have fucking Steam to run it, assuming it came from Steam. Those that didn't, I can't help. But inside of Steam's ecosystem, which is most of it, that's the lion's share here. Let's be real. I don't see a reason why, one, any game purchased on Steam should have a buyback option. And that buyback option can scale dependent on current sell-through price of the game.
Okay.
If the game goes on fucking sale, then yeah, you probably want to or no, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tweak this just a little. My thought process is evolving as I run my mouth. So, purchase a game, and it's got a marker tag to it that says, you paid $60 for this game. Cool. The buyback to Steam is $25. It's roughly it's a reasonable average for new AAA $60 game.
Yep.
So the buyback is is $25.
I was gonna say, yeah, gain some extra money on that transaction.
Yeah.
The collector's edition.
Right. Now, to that end, and again, questions have arose on this. Who gets fucking paid? Who takes the hit?
Mhm.
At this point, I would venture to say
Steam.
no. I do think there would be a
Because-
split in here somewhere.
My whole
Because
thing is they could sell it again, and that's
Well, see, here's my issue.
it's not a limited quantity thing.
right. Exactly.
You're doling on access. But to that end, I do think though that what could happen here is a series of open accounts for developers and publishers that are putting games out on Steam, where maybe a portion of sales generated stays floating in that account for maybe, say, I don't know, give it 6 months to a year, something like that. just portion, not the fucking whole thing. But that way, you know, if somebody runs the buyback option to Steam, it scales, and part of what's floating in there gets floated back to Steam for buying back the code, and Steam takes a percent, whatever the percentage, you know, hit on whatever their cut of the original sale is, kind of thing. It's an option. It's a thought. I'm not saying it's not slightly convoluted, but it's not unreasonable either. That's as far as splitting up responsibility in terms of who pays.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We have different places to buy digital copies of games.
Oh, we do, and that's the other thing. If the digital copy wasn't purchased on Steam, it can't be sold back to Steam.
Yeah. So, well, but that's the whole point. Is you can't just have it for one system.
Sure, you can.
gotta- So then I can't sell back my Epic digital copies, is what you're saying.
You can't sell your Epic digital copies to Steam.
Well, I wouldn't want to sell them to Steam, but what if Epic doesn't want to have it? Or they do something different, and they, you know, their prices
So?
are different. Do we
Like the
have
way
to
I look at
regulate-
that, it's just like if you had a different console,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't expect my Xbox game to play on my PlayStation.
No, that's true.
So,
So,
Yeah, but I'm
You
playing
know.
on one console.
well,
but
not-
we're
not
talking
but this-
marketplaces here.
yeah, marketplaces are like different. To me, that's what they're like. They're like, if I go to Epic, it's like I'm turning on my PlayStation now, and it's different. I'll bet it still plays games, and it plays some different ones, some the same, and it does it differently. That's the way I look at it. So, to me, that wouldn't be a big deal.
So, but I'm simply setting up a singular model.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, additionally, here's the other thing. So, Steam, your Steam game has a buyback marker, you know, based on the retail price that you paid when you bought it, right? Now, to that end, capitalism is great, and so is the free market, because here's prong number 2. A full-blown peer-to-peer marketplace should exist. That being said, at that point, you can then try and hawk your license access to another person that's looking to jump in.
So
You
you're
can set your pricing on that. So at that point, I picked up a game on Steam for $5 because it was on sale. It's normally $30. Sale's gone. I've still got access to it that I can sell off. It's mine to sell. At that point, it's a question of, can I strike the balance of getting my price up there to where maybe I turn a small profit, but low enough to undercut anybody else that's trying to sell too.
The way I
They
s-
caught that same sale.
the way I see it's an idea. The problem with that is it'll be like Diablo 3's marketplace auction, and that's why they got rid of it, because it's going to be a convoluted mess.
Well, then that brings up a question too. I mean, Steam has a sharing program.
Yeah,
Right.
So what are you trying to tell me, Larry? That you would want me now to pay you for the games that I borrowed?
No, but at that point,
So I
here's-
mean, I'm
here's
just saying.
your other piece. Here's
Why would
your
you
other
want to
piece
sell
to
me
that.
when I can borrow?
And that's the thing. Marketplace is one thing. Again, here's where you can string a little bit of physical and digital concept together. Where I could maybe loan you you're on my friends. I could pass off to you directly my license rights access to, say, Hollow Knight.
Mhm.
You know, you've got it. Well, you've got it. I don't. There's one copy floating around, and at that point, you have it long enough, you play through it, you're finished with it, and you give me a call, you shoot me a message, says, "Hey, Hollow Knight was awesome. I had a ton of fun. Here's your access back."
Yeah,
Or-
but why
yeah.
can't we both have access?
At that point, you know.
I mean, what's the
and-
point
and-
of you giving me access to a game that you don't have? Whereas right now, Steam, you and I can both play the games that we're sharing.
I'll tell you why. And I'm sure I'm about
You
to
want money?
No, it's not me. It's not me. Hear me out on this.
Okay.
And I'm sure I'm about to piss off somebody listening to this. But I'm going to say it anyways. You played the game, you really liked it. It came back to me because it was my copy that I loaned out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm back to playing it again, and you're like, man, I would totally love to play that again. I can't get it out of my head. At that point, I don't think it's unreasonable to shelve for your own personal copy. That's encouragement to you to buy your copy that then pays the developer
Yeah,
for the work that they did for the game that you like.
kind of like Game Pass in a way. I mean, that's what Game Pass does. You play
But
the
that's
stuff.
going to raise the prices because
Yeah.
I would see that raising the prices because
How does that raise the price?
I think-
for-
I think
or-
games would skyrocket in price, honestly,
because
on any of this stuff.
here's the thing. I'm trying to think how I was going. I had it in my head and then it just went. Ooh, like I could just see my thought just traveling down the highway, like you're a bitch. I can't. I lost it. I had it. It was all there. And why it would raise the prices, and now it's like fuck. Never mind.
One thing I know, one thing for certain, something like this is going to have to be implemented at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna.
Why?
It's gonna because the other countries that Steam. It may not happen in the U.S., but it's going to happen in other countries because other
No.
countries are going to start. It's going to start snowballing in other countries too, just
I
like the
still-
loot box thing, just like that.
I still just don't see the issue. That's my problem. I think I don't see what people are so.
What they want to do,
people are
Kathleen.
just greedy. People
What
are
they want to
greedy.
do, is they want to take a game. Like if I went to a store and bought a physical copy of a game,
Yeah.
I can take that game and go, I'm going to sell it to Larry. And so he could give me money and I can sell it. And then he has it. But I don't have it anymore. That's
Yeah.
what these people want. They want to be able to take the game that they bought digitally at a convenience, maybe, or lower price or whatever, and say, but see, that's what I'm saying. When you're saying sell it back to Steam, I don't think these people want to sell it back to like Steam.
No, they
or
don't want to
Xbox.
sell.
They want the
people to
code, and they want to be able to do whatever they want with it. If that's going to happen, prices will skyrocket because
Yeah.
the codes will be flooding, and the developers will have no choice but to charge more for these codes. And
Well, yeah, because people are going to be. Because
Right.
people will sell these games for much higher than they purchased for it to make money. I mean, you're going to see websites pop up.
Or what's going to happen is, because I don't play it anymore, I don't care how much I sell it for.
Yeah.
If I could get $0 from it now, but I can get $5 for it tomorrow, I'll get $5 for it.
Yeah.
And so these codes
I'll
are going
set
to
up a
be on.
website.
These codes are going to be all over eBay, all over everything for like $2-3, and
I'll sell it.
those are
Yeah.
second codes that the developer can't sell. So
Yeah.
just like buying a used game at GameStop, they don't get any cut. They're not going to get any cut of these,
Yeah.
and it's
No,
going to
that's-
cut.
that's
That's going to
the
be a
thing.
problem. Yeah.
This is where you nix the codes, and you're simply talking about license access.
Right.
There's
But
a
is that
difference.
right? But is that the
Because in
same
the US,
thing
that's
as
what
the
we do.
physical?
Because in the U.S. it's not the same. In the
Yeah.
U.S. we only pay for the right to for the license to play. We don't actually pay for the game
Mhm.
when you buy it digitally.
So at that point, when you're inside of an ecosystem like Steam, Steam should be able to handle the license management and
Right. No, I agree.
transfer thereof.
I agree.
That
And if-
should be reasonably straightforward transactional.
Yeah, and I agree. And if they ever do something like this, they have to do it that way. Otherwise, it doesn't stand a chance.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, is it
Yeah.
should
Well,
be
but
done
isn't
that
that
way.
a return policy? Wouldn't that just be a normal return policy? How is
No,
it? How is
Out
a
of the
buyback different? How is a buyback different than a return?
Out of like if you return it within the time frame and whatever, you get your full price back. But selling it back, you don't. You never do.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
to that end, the return policy has limitations too.
Right.
Buyback does not.
Okay.
Does that track a little better?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can just put in a return policy after so many days. You can make it into a kind of like a buyback situation.
Right.
You don't
and that's
have
why-
to change it.
Yeah.
You can just make it a return policy and not even bother with a buyback and kind of hide the buyback within a return policy.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you go full return policy,
Mhm.
then all the money is going back versus with a buyback, you've played the game, you've gotten your use out of it, and you're selling the access back so that you no longer have it, but you're not getting full price for it back, which means that they're not handing back all the money that they got off the sale. They may not end
Well, you do
run
the same
it
thing
as
with the return policy. Like any stores, after so many days, you don't get the full amount back. That happens in stores all the time, where you have so many days to get the full price, and then after that, you start decreasing how much you're going to get, and then you set a minimum after so many days, the minimum percentage you can get back from a game. That doesn't go away. Does that make sense? You can just make it a part of
I've
a
never
return
bumped
policy.
into that. Anytime I've ever done a return refund, anything, it's full price back, and that's it. It's done. But that
Mhm.
return period is limited.
No,
Right.
it depends on stores. Some stores have different return policies. Not everybody's the same. That's the
But
thing.
that's the framework that I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
Because Steam's got an established return policy, and it is
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah.
So
Well, but they can
this would
change
give
it.
you options outside of that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just change your return policy. That's all I'm saying is they don't need to create a whole different system. Why create a whole different system? I'm not going to. Again, we can't. Like you said, you can't sell. I mean, are we going to make it where you can sell to just anybody, or should it be sold back to the company you bought it from?
That's the big issue here. Like
Yeah.
what and these like I don't know if it will work any other way. I don't
Yeah.
think it would work if they would just say, "Oh, you can have it just like a physical game," because it number one is not a physical game.
No.
And the other thing about a physical game is that it's a cart, it's a disc, it can actually be damaged. It could eventually stop working.
Yeah,
the digital
you have to
copy
buy it
keeps
again.
going over and over. That
Right.
would just be until
It's your hardware that becomes the
What I-
problem, and that's you have to replace your hardware.
what I would be interested to know is how fast games would be delisted off of
That
digital
was going to
market
be my next
Yeah.
thing.
digital
too.
marketplaces if this started happening. It would be delisted so quickly, and you would either force everybody that already has it to just download it. Like you could be able to download if you have the license, but it would no new licenses would be accepted. I could see that
Right.
happening. It might
Yeah.
actually force like the return of like physical media,
Yeah. Good.
but that's why it's not going to happen because it costs way too much money to do that stuff.
Yeah. Plus, with everybody with the PC, I mean, with PCs, we don't have the ability to play physical.
I'm sure if you had it on what if it was on a USB drive?
God, I don't want to have to buy a USB drive. Damn it.
Well, no, you walk into the store, you buy a.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to buy. I don't want to have all these little USB drives.
Yeah, see, I know.
Like, the whole point
That's
of
what I'm
digital
saying,
is
Kathleen.
I don't have this.
That's
I
what
don't
we're
want
saying.
physical.
I don't think it's going to happen. And if they do a return or like a
Well, then
buyback,
my question is, can you have what about like digitals on Switch? What about digitals on Xbox? How
Right.
does that work? Do you have
Right.
is it a buyback on like Switch and on
no, they don't
Xbox
have
and
anything
Switch?
like that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so-
like that's what I'm saying is that every store would have to figure it out,
yeah.
and it would have
I
to
do
be
think
some
it should
kind
be figured out.
yeah.
Yeah.
There,
Like I
there
said,
should
I'm
be
not
some
concerned.
option somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't see a wrong thing with saying, like, I always thought that on Xbox. Like, I bought something for $50, let's say, and let's say like a year down the road, I don't want to play it anymore. Well, what if Xbox said, I'll give you $10 in store credit if you want to just give me this game back?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, okay. So in reality, that $10 is like maybe $3 to them. and they're selling you digital goods, which are like, they don't. I mean, let's get real. They don't cost anything to produce.
Right. There's no overhead.
There's no overhead for it. So it's like, why wouldn't they do that?
Mhm.
You know, I
Like I
often
said,
thought about.
yeah, like I said though, for me, I don't even think about it.
I just thought.
this
Well,
is
if I
for
had
me
all
a
these,
non-issue. This is
Well, I
just
just
a whole
thought-
non-issue, and whatever happens will happen. I will
I
never
just-
sell my games.
I thought of it like
digital.
this. I thought of it like this, Kathleen. I have, let's say, I have right now. I have 350 digital games,
Mhm.
which it's about right. I have that much downloaded. I have more, but that much downloaded. What if I sold back every one of them at $5 a pop, and I got $1,500 back?
Yeah.
It's a lot
What-
more
what
games
would
you can go buy.
What would I do with that $1,500? I would go buy more games with it because it would be like a credit or something. It wouldn't be the actual
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah, but I
wouldn't that
wouldn't
be
want
worth
to.
it?
But I wouldn't want to do that. Honestly,
I
In
know,
my
but I
opinion,
mean-
that's not
Well,
something
nobody's
I want.
making it.
Unless
No.
unless I'm getting the cash.
That's what I'm saying, Kathleen. Like a lot of people, that's why when you go to GameStop and you trade in a game, they're like, "Do you want like 72 cents or do you want, $25 in store credit?" Because you're spending that money back in there, and they're getting a cut of that again.
Yeah.
So that would be another cut, and you would actually be paying another developer for another game that way. That's why I think it would have to be like just a digital kind of purchase like that with the individual storefront. It's interesting to think about anyway.
Not for me. Honestly, it's like it's a non-issue. I seriously, I find it very like, okay, whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't see it as an issue. I don't know many people who've had an issue with it, and maybe I'm just the minority here on that because I've never thought about selling back my games digitally.
Look who
physically.
turned up.
Oh, there we go.
Ah.
I wish he was
Now I'm
here.
gonna let him speak his piece on this.
Yeah, let him speak because I already
guess I'll
said
just-
enough, and I've already said I don't care. So
Might as well just take a nap.
Wow.
Oh no, I'm seriously gonna take a nap. I've washed my hands of this. I've said my piece, and I think it's stupid. But all you hardcore gamers that want to sell your money, digital copies. Oh my god.
Oh, the
Whatever.
Steam thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
I think it's all a bunch of bullshit thing that people, are just being stupid about. But that's me.
Well,
And I
hello,
don't care.
everybody. And I think this is more for just Europe for right now, right?
Right.
France.
France. One country in Europe.
One country in Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Kathy, I want to offer you a thought real quick because this just popped in my head. You ready? Maybe this is only a big deal in France right now because
Do you
everybody
think I
there.
really care what your opinion is?
Maybe it's only a big deal in France right now because all the gamers there are so excited to what's the word I know? Surrender their games? Josh is thinking about
Larry,
it. Second.
shut up.
Well,
History jokes.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Larry. Yeah, no, I knew exactly where you were going with that. It wasn't even anything like, ugh.
So, is France saying that when you buy a game digitally, that you own it? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing that they're not saying, but they're saying they're equating it to buying a physical copy.
Right,
Yeah.
That you should be able to resell this copy.
Right.
right.
even though that they don't
And they're
own-
going after Valve and Steam because Steam doesn't let you do that.
Right.
Nobody else does, which makes me wonder how long is it until they go after the rest of them too.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you think about how many
Or
digital
they-
stores there are.
Or they just stop selling in
Right.
France.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm assuming this is the government. I don't think they understand that how IPs and how that business stuff works. I think they're just thinking it from you
Yeah.
are the consumer and you should have a right to resell a game no matter
Yeah.
It should.
what. But you didn't really like create that IP or anything. You gave Steam and that publisher your money. So now if you're selling this game, it's really you should be like
But it's mine. Why can't I do what I want with it?
You should be what you lost out of you paying something is what you should get back. So only way to get something back like that is that you have to sell this game to someone else. So you could set the. I'm assuming they could set the price.
I don't know how it works. They didn't go into it. They're just saying
No, they're just saying
They should be able to-
There is no option.
Yeah,
option.
they're trying to start something so that, hey, maybe start thinking of options.
Yeah, but yeah, because like digital, like I said, and I think I was telling you, Kathleen, or I was telling you, that I mentioned in the chat, Josh, that I making copies and viruses and stuff like that. Like you can make a copy of a digital game, doing some illegal means, whatever you want to do with that, and then sell it. So you're not only losing money, but what if you made this illegal copy? It don't have no DRM to it, and then you're just selling to multiple people. Like how would the government themselves be able to track that? Because Steam can't stop it because they're being held under France's law, whatever, if they ever pass something like that. How will the government be able to stop this? Because they bought one copy of Mortal Kombat 11, but now that whoever bought it made multiple copies, now they're making money off of WB, and they're not getting no money. Steam's not getting no money for it. And you can sell it for a lower price or whatever, but then that picks up traction of how did you as a consumer able to sell 58 copies of Mortal Kombat 11 and you only bought one? And
Josh, you want to take this one, or do you want me to give him the solution he wasn't here for?
Yeah, why don't you do it?
So
but
you
before you
missed part of this conversation, but I
Yeah,
had
you
an
did.
answer to this puzzle.
He did.
that deals with the government, I should say, not Steam, is what I'm saying.
The government's not involved in this.
But they're the
All
ones that's
government-
making.
All the
the
government
arc-
is saying is that the issue is that you don't have any ability to do anything with your product that you purchased, even though you purchased it and you own it. Now, here's what you missed. My pitch here, my solution, is that games being sold can be sold back inside of the marketplace only where they were purchased. So if you bought the game on Steam, you can sell it back to Steam, but it's only inside of Steam that you can sell it back. You can't take a game that you bought on Epic and then sell it back to Steam because it didn't come from Steam. Here's why. It's because you're not dealing with code, you're dealing with licensed digital rights access.
Right.
And at that point, as long as it came from Steam in the first place, they're the ones that are managing the license access by way of your Steam account. So when you sell it back, Steam then revokes your license access on Steam. You no longer have access to the game. The license access goes back. Done.
But
You're not
that's
dealing with the
selling,
game code itself.
and that's what I was wondering. Do France want them to resell it? Like, if you bought it on Steam, do they want you to resell it to only other
They're not
Steam
even
players?
setting any. They're just saying
No.
somebody's got to fucking do something. Something's got to give somewhere. Give them an option.
But the government haven't made that actually clear in a sense.
No,
They
No,
just
they're
said-
saying the only problem, right? They're just saying that look, there's a problem and you're not in accordance with the law because at this point you're sticking. When
But
somebody
is
buys
it-
something, you're sticking them with something that they literally can't move after that in any direction.
And that's why I feel like the government doesn't know.
It
Oh, And
means
this
that the
is my
original
assumption.
purchaser becomes the end point, and there's nowhere to move.
And that's why I feel like the government probably doesn't know how a lot of this stuff works. They're saying that have that option, but you as the government, if you're gonna say this, I feel like personally, and this is just me, I feel like you guys need to do more research on how this stuff works, how reselling a digital game works. I don't know if what they're equating it to. I think they just need to do more research to get an understanding on how this kind of system will work or how the system works. Because I don't think you can resell movies or anything
No.
You can.
Well, digital.
digitally.
Digitally, no.
No.
But again, this may just be the gateway.
Right.
Steam may just be the first one on the block because it's the biggest marketplace for that.
And that's weird that they would pick video games and not equate it to all digital media. In a
Well,
sense.
you're dealing with the shopkeeper basically. So if in this country we have an issue with retailers, you kind of have to go after each retailer individually. So what
Right.
do? You start with the biggest one, work your way down.
And then hopefully the other ones start falling in line.
Right, because if
Yeah.
you whack the biggest one first, the others might just kind of look at whatever they do and go, "Oh, they figured out the answer. We'll just copy that."
So
Done deal.
and that's why I kind of wonder why they will pick up video games first and not video games and movies, because those are two of the biggest digital platforms when it comes to media of
Right.
getting entertainment. Like going like
They are, but in
Universal
terms of
has a
entertainment dollars, video games are raking in more.
They
annually.
Yeah.
they make more money than Hollywood. Way more.
Yeah.
so you guys think it could be a money issue?
It is a money issue. It's all about money. It always is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's just weird that I guess I didn't see it from a money issue thing. I was just seeing it as just reselling video games
A
and why
consumer rights thing or whatever.
kind of
Yeah.
yeah, that they would pick video games and not do both at the same time. If you're going to go after Steam, go after movies too, because both of them, even though they're different medias, the practice of reselling content that's not yours is the same thing. You know, you reselling a movie digitally, you don't actually own that movie if you buy it digitally. It's the same as you don't really own the game. You bought the license to have that game, but if that license expires and
Right.
if you like get rid of that game because you need space, you can never buy it again because you don't own that license anymore.
Right. And
So
we talked about that too. If like
Yeah.
how would the games get delisted a
Yes.
lot quicker?
because I brought the Sandra Bullock it was the football one. She had the Black Sun.
Oh,
The
I know
Blind
what-
Side.
Yeah,
The Blind Side, yeah.
that's the one,
I-
thank you.
I own Zoom, and I brought that movie through Zoom. Microsoft lost the license, and because they lost the license, they took that movie away from me. I couldn't own it no more, or
Right.
anything. And I don't know if the government has even thought about that, you know, or
Yeah.
took a look in that and stuff. I mean, so
Mm.
that kind of that's why I kind of wish that they did more research in a sense.
And and it's kind of not the promise of the digital future, right? The digital future promise was, I could get anything I want all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, would
Let
this
me know
be?
where you're. Let
you
me
know.
know when and where you can get that copy of Scott Pilgrim now.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Licenses expire. I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of these licenses they even thought about forever. You know, because like for example, like Xbox, when they started doing their backward compatibility, all of a sudden these old games were relevant again on the digital storefront.
Right.
So I mean that's another thing, and that's why some of these games like Alan Wake, for example, went away for a while because they
Right.
lost music licenses of the game that was in it, and then they got
Right.
it back. So it costs more money. So you're trying, you know, it's really convoluted, really complicated topic. But it's got to happen sometime. I'm sure somebody will figure something out.
Right, and just having the government say, "Steve, you just need to have that option," and walk it away. It's just like it's not that easy when you don't
Yeah.
know how stuff like that works. So,
I'm not saying it's easy, but I do think it's a worthwhile venture, and I do think it is something that deserves the attention and the resolution.
and not like I kind of agree with your solution, Larry. Like if you're gonna resell the thing, Steam needs to check it. We void out your license and your key,
Right.
and they
Right.
transfer over to that person. If you try to do something illegal with it, they would know, and they'd be like, "Well, this Steam key doesn't work, and I brought this." You know, well, that
Yeah.
might be a legal situation, and I don't know how the courts are in France. So that's something that they don't, that you don't want to be dealing with, because like, who do you like if that does happen? Who does the buyer goes after? Do you go after C, or do you go after the person that sells it to you?
Right. That's a good point.
It's all stuff that needs to be worked out.
Well, yeah, it needs to
I
be
don't
worked
have all
out.
the answers, but I mean, like I said, I think I
Hey,
laid down a pretty
it's-
rock solid foundation.
Hey,
I was gonna say, come on, Larry. I expect nothing but answers from you. You need to have everything solved. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm just, so yeah, I just think if
I think
it
I did
happens,
pretty damn good for off the cuff with about 24 hours.
I mean, it's that was something I was thinking too. Like, why can't you just like I know Eddie wasn't here, but I said, like, even on Xbox, like, why can't I just go to my digital library and say, oh, I don't want this anymore. They offer me $5 for it. I just sell it back. I get store credit for $5. I can go use that towards the purchase of a new game.
I think, and I'm probably, and hopefully you agree with me, Kathleen, about this. I think when you,
Sorry.
I think, uh oh,
No. I hope I agree with you on this.
when you buy additional game, whether it's good or bad, before you do any of that, of course, demos are important. Always do your research and stuff. But if you decide to buy additional game, I think if a game has some major problems, you should do a return. I don't think if you be like, I'm not enjoying this game because it's not fun or anything, without giving no reason of why it's not fun. Like, if the game keeps crashing and stuff like that, I think you shouldn't be able to return the game if you just outright bought it without doing no research, waiting for no end reviews, because that's why reviews are important for people to read. Someone's going to take the dive and someone's going to do a video about a game, and before you jump on it, it's good to look at that review and pay attention. If it meets your expectation and it works and you still are interested, then go buy that digital game. But if you buy it without doing no research, you're stuck with it.
Well, I think the issue is, though, people buy games that they really like, the physical ones, and they have the option when they're done with it, or if they just don't want it anymore, they can go sell it. So what about those of us who buy digital games and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm done with this game, I'm never going to play it? I think that's, that's a different situation than what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, that's when, like, once again, licenses come into play, because, like, if you got that physical game, that license is not attached to it. All that data is on the game. The license is attached to a digital game. If that license is gone, that game is gone. And so you got an option of keeping it on another hard drive and switching out to another external, or give up the data. That's going to be up to the player, to the buyer. But still, do some research. Just don't buy a digital game because it's 15 cents and then realize that it wasn't even worth the 15 cents and you can't do nothing about it.
That's where I'm at on it.
Okay.
Uh,
I think we beat it. We beat it pretty much.
we did. We did.
We beat it, and then we beat it again.
Well, before we go, can I just give a quick run through of what I've been playing? Real quick.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, guys.
Oh,
You have 5 minutes, you're on the
no,
clock.
I'm not gonna give a description.
It's
5 minutes, you're on the clock. Ready, go.
Link's Awakening, Astral Chain, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Final Fantasy 9, Just Cause 3, Gears 5, Wolfenstein, The New Order, and Contra Road Corps.
Dang it, I wanted to hear your opinion on Link's Awakening, but I'm not going to prolong this any longer.
I think it earns this Game of the Year nominations.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A 20-year-old game.
Yeah, I think this remake is. I think that Grezzo did a justifiable job with this remake. Like, it's I think it's really something everybody should have on their Nintendo Switch, digital or physical.
I just want to ask you this: do you think it's worth the price that they're charging for it?
Yes.
Okay.
$60. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There's more to it than what people think. So I'm like, yeah, it's a cool.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'm gonna
Start saving. Ah, dang it.
brief touch here. 30-second opinions on Contra.
I would say wait for it to drop for it to 1999. It's not a bad game that everybody's been trashing. I think the dash mechanic is really fun. Graceful Explosion Machine, that's where I feel like it kind of has its ideas but didn't execute them fully in a sense. But I think if you wait for it to drop to like 1999 or 17.99 or even 14.99, I think it's worth a pickup. It's a dumb fun game. It's just like really shooting and feel like you're getting a score and everything. I truly like its setup for as a twin stick style of a twin stick shooter, but not an actual twin stick shooter. You know, you using the left and right analog and doing the ZR to shoot. It feels really good, and I did recommend people play the demo first to get an idea of what you're gonna get. It's good that Konami did that before you jump in, because it is $40, and that's what I got, and that's the one I did. I paid the $40. I don't know what the season pass is, so I wouldn't get it or anything. But like,
it feels mighty steep.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I was excited because of the demo. That's why I went out and got it so I could talk about it. But I wouldn't give it like a 4. I would give it like a 6 or something, or 6.5. That's why I said. That's why I said kind of wait
It's
for
better
a sale.
than middle of the road.
Yeah. That's why I said wait for a sale. Let Konami drop it to 1999 and stuff.
And they will.
Fair assessment.
Yeah.
And if not, go get the Contra Anniversary Collection. Have a ball with that.
Okay. Right on. All right. Well, that brings us to a close for this week. So I want to say thank you. Huge shout out, lots of love to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Extra love to my compatriots and partners in crime, Kathy and Josh and Eddie, who kind of snuck in the door at the last minute. Don't think your mother and I didn't see you get in past curfew, motherfucker. Grounded.
Hey, no, we're glad you showed up, Ed.
Yeah, you're gonna scare him off, Larry.
Yeah, don't.
No, I'll be here next
That
Wednesday.
was a great surprise. It was wonderful.
Heard the door creak open. Try sneaking in the
And first
dark.
of all,
Just hear his
y'all
voice.
two
You
do-
know what time it is.
Mom and Dad, why was y'all up past the curfew? Y'all supposed to be in the bed asleep.
What?
I'm
No. See, as a mother, I pay attention to my
Right.
kids.
Don't
I can't
fight,
sleep
you don't
unless I know where
call,
my kids
never
are.
hear from you.
All of a
Your mother
sudden,
and I, we worry
You
about you.
show up unannounced.
Kathleen, is that with an ER or an A? Because if you say, you say, look, I'm your mother. You was in big trouble when that A got pronounced.
That's the one time you get in more trouble when there's not a hard R.
Exactly.
Nice.
Womp womp. All right. Well, everybody say goodnight.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody. Good night.
Peace.